What's up, guys? Veteran Omar Pacheco here with ERA High Point Realty. Back, as promised, video number 2. How to be on point, okay? This is what I figured out, how I can explain the process of what happens after you get your pre-approval, okay? We already went through the shopping for a lender and all that. What is the next step, okay? So, let's get started, okay? So, how to be on point. Your first step, okay, is going to be pick an agent. Some of you are doing this through Zillow. Some of you are doing it by, I'm going to drive by and call on the sign. However your method is, I will go into more detail so that you have the proper knowledge to make a sound decision when it does come time to pick an agent, okay? That video is going to be done right after this one, because this step number 1 on point can determine what happens on the other 4, okay? So, pick an agent. You picked an agent. Fantastic. Congratulations. That agent's going to find you some homes. You're going to start looking. Couple things when you're looking. Do not feel pressured based on your report date, market, maybe your agent, listing agent, your friends. Make sure that home feels like home, okay? This isn't something where you can keep your receipt and you can be like, I don't want it. No go, okay? So, make sure it feels like home. Once you do find, you walk into that property, you're like, this is it. How do we make an offer, okay? That's step number 2, all right? Offer time. This is exciting. This is always a confusing time for a first-time home buyer sometimes, okay? So allow me to explain what happens here. Your agent that you chose, depending on what kind of agency, which I'll go into detail later, they're going to say, hey, I think we can get this house for this price. Whatever that price is, you're going to submit that, you and your agent, to the seller, okay? The seller then is going to have the option to review it with his agent and say, hey, do we counter? Do we take it? Whatever the case may be, okay? If they accept your offer, fantastic. You are officially under contract. However, they can counter. They can say, okay, we'll do this for this price if you want, closing costs, for example. Either way, that negotiation period usually can take no more than a day or 2, depending on how difficult the property is, the seller, or the buyer, you guys, okay? So, offer. You're under contract now. You guys figured out a price. Fantastic. This is when it gets very, very crucial to who you chose as your agent, okay? From the day the last person signed on the contract between you and the buyer, or you guys, the buyer and the seller, whoever signed last, the following day starts day 1, okay? So, for example, if I fully executed a contract today, tomorrow, day 1. For the next phase, day 1 of your inspections, okay? We have 10 days for that. You're probably wondering, what is that? Doesn't the VA order a VA appraisal? Absolutely, they do. But we can jump the gun on this. VA appraisals, which is your bank's going to order, they're going to focus more on the exterior of the home. Yes, they go inside, they check some appliances, but they're not going to go into detail. This is a separate inspection that we have the right to get. This inspector is going to go into crawl space, the roof, siding, possible foundation. He can recommend for us to get another inspection if there's a possible foundation issue. He'll be like, hey, or if there's a possible roof issue, he'll say, you might want to get a good estimate on this hole in the roof, okay? He's going to let us know what's going on with the property, in the guts, electrical, big one for VA right now. We have the right, depending on this report's going to make it look like you bought a lemon, but he's just giving you some possible repairs that are coming 5, 10, 15 years from now, okay? So, depending on your agent, we're going to look at the big compliance issues, okay? The big ones. something that's going to stop the VA appraiser from appraising the property. Okay, so at this junction, we're going to submit, for example, there's a leaky roof. Seller, I'm going to need you to fix or repair this roof by the close date of this contract. That seller can sit on it for 5 days. 5 days. And this is a very intense phase because you'll be calling me or your agent, you'll be like, what's going on? Have you heard? No, I haven't. But I'll do a follow-up email like, hey, what's going on? They're trying to get a bid, some kind of like, how much is it going to cost me to do this roof? So we gotta be patient on this phase because we're giving the seller his space to get us what we want. Okay. If that seller at this point says within 5 days comes back and says, I'm not doing it, I'm not going to repair that roof, my friends, we are officially under negotiations. Okay? What I mean by that is we have the right at this point, since the seller said he's not going to repair that leaky roof, we're out. Give me my deposit, we're going to move on. Okay? Rarely happens. We do figure out a way of how to meet in the middle, or most of the time, depending on the market, the seller will do some repairs as long as they're not major. Okay? So this is a tough one because depending on who you pick as your agent, you're going to be countering just like you were when you first made the offer. It's the same kind of thing, but this is giving both parties a right to either back out and move on, okay, or fix some major compliance issues for that VA appraiser to come out and not have to worry about them not finishing their job. Okay. Once you get through that phase, everything was negotiated. Fantastic. They're doing the repairs. We're 2-3 weeks from closing. Final phase. And yeah, at this junction, this is my favorite too. I think they're all my favorite, but this point you're going to take possession. You are officially a homeowner, my friend. Okay? So, during these 5 phases, there's a lot that happens in between. I'm just giving you a broad look of some of the key points that do happen during a transaction. I will be doing a really intense, detailed video on right here. Because if you don't know what you're doing there, that can have a complete effect on the entire thing. Okay? That's when things can get intense. So, if you have any questions, feel free. You know how to get a hold of me. 785-477-2194. I am always on point for you guys. Till next time, Veteran Omar Pacheco, I'm out.